Okay, I'll start again. So hello, I'm Langers and I'm from Rocket Pool. So Rocket Pool is a decentralized liquid staking protocol, okay? So you'll recognize us because we've got very, very subtle branding, namely the orange. So today we're going to talk about Ethereum needs you to ensure decentralization. It's kind of a call to arms for anyone who wants to run an Ethereum node and help to decentralize and to secure Ethereum. So we're going to cover today what is Ethereum staking, how does Rocket Pool work, why should you consider being a Rocket Pool node operator, what are the responsibilities, what does Shanghai mean for staking, and then we have an important announcement at the end which I'll get to share with you. Okay, cool. So what is Ethereum staking? So since the merge, in theory, anyone with ETH can actually stake that ETH and participate in securing Ethereum. So when Ethereum transactions get formed into a block, that's actually Ethereum proof of stake validators actually building that block and staking their ETH, okay? The stake is actually like a good behavior bond. If you do a good job, then you'll actually be rewarded with new Ethereum. If you, in the unlikely event that you try to attack Ethereum, then your bond can actually be penalized or what we call slashed. So, how secure is Ethereum? So there's 16.7 million ETH being staked at the moment. When I did these slides, that was worth $28 billion. I'm not quite sure what it is today. That could be a lot lower, but anyway. You would have to risk something like $18 billion to pose a threat to Ethereum. So that's what we call economic security, and that's how proof of stake works, and that is what you will be participating in if you stake your ETH. So in reality, though, there's actually quite a high barrier to entry for staking. So first of all, you need a fixed 32 ETH per validator that you spin up. This is around $55,000. And there's also kind of like, you need technical knowledge to be able to run an Ethereum node as well. Staking currently at the moment is a one-way thing. I'm quite surprised that there's 16.7 million ETH being staked, considering it only goes one way. But that it all changes when Shanghai happens. When the Shanghai hard fork happens, withdrawals will be in place, and you'll be able to exit some of those validators. Okay. So how does Rocket Pool work? So it's kind of got like two sides. So Rocket Pool matches ETH with liquid stakers who can, basically they can stake with any amount. They don't need to be a node operator. It's basically the simplest way to stake your ETH today. It's literally a token swap. So we match, or the protocol matches ETH from liquid stakers and matches it with ETH from node stakers, okay? So we take 16 ETH from liquid stakers and we match it with 16 ETH from a node staker, and we put that together to make 32 for going to the proof of stake system. Then the node operator, anyone could be a node operator in Rocket Pool. The node operator then stakes the ETH and generates the rewards, and then those rewards are then shared back between the node operator and liquid stakers. So as you'll kind of see, originally you needed 32 ETH to be an Ethereum kind of validator. With Rocket Pool, you only need 16. So we've already kind of halved the barrier to entry for that. Node operators kind of stake their ETH and then they generate the reward. They generate the rewards on their own 16 ETH, but they also get kind of a fee on the amount that they generate for the pool as well. And I'll come to that a little bit more in a minute. So that's basically them providing a technical service to our ETH stakers. Okay. All right, so with great power comes great responsibility. So what do you have to do as a node staker? So first of all, you have to keep kind of security of your node. So you need to safeguard the security of your node to ensure the funds are safe and that you're contributing to Ethereum security. You also need to keep your node up online. Now, to be honest, Ethereum is a very forgiving protocol, right? If you're offline, it doesn't care too much. because you just won't earn the rewards in that time. Okay, so the penalties are very, very mild for generally being offline, unless you're offline with lots and lots of people, which is less likely. So for infrequent downtime, it's not too bad, but to be honest, you want to maximize your returns anyway, your rewards, and so you want to try and keep your node up as much as possible. The other thing is maintenance. So obviously you've got to perform regular maintenance on your node, you've got to update to new releases of the clients and all this sort of thing when that kind of happens. To be honest, running a node is actually a lot easier than people think. Rocket Pool, we have a fantastic community. They have, we've got node operators with very limited technical knowledge that have come into the community and have kind of upskilled through interacting with the community, and they've kind of upskilled them to be, really proficient node operators. We've also got some extensive documentation, so you can go through the process step by step. We've also got a test net which enables you to essentially do it with fake money, although really ETH is actually slightly money now. So you can actually use fake money to test it out. All right, cool. So why Rocket Pool? So we released in November, or released a mainnet in November 21, and it's gone pretty well so far. We've got over 2,000 node operators operating in 100 different geographic locations. We're staking over 4,000 ETH, which represents about 2.4% of all the ETH that's being staked today. So some of the features of Rocket Pool that are pretty cool. So the first thing is the smart node, right? The smart node is a piece of software that we've kind of developed, and it streamlines spinning up a node. It's the easiest way to spin up an Ethereum node today. It does all the kind of heavy lifting for you in terms of like setting up the connections between everything, and you can basically spin up a node within about 20 minutes. You can choose which clients you want to use. You can choose which MEV relays you want to use. So you have the full control. The smart node is just a wrapper over the top of all of that stuff. We've also, included in the smart node, is also some built-in dashboards and maintenance stuff to basically make your life as easy as possible. So, as well as the smart node stack, obviously as I said before, we lowered the barrier of entry. So we've lowered the barrier of entry from 32 ETH to 16 ETH, and might be some more news on that near the end. Community support. So we have a community of 2,000 node operators that have kind of coached hundreds of new node operators to onboard them into Rocket Pool, but not just Rocket Pool, but onboard them as Ethereum validators, and so contributing to the security of Ethereum. You'd actually be surprised that being part of the Rocket Pool community is probably our most rewarding feature. I kid you not. So then, smoothing pool. So rewards for proposing a block are extremely variable. They can be, you can get a block once every month, or you can get a block once every year. It's very, very variable. You can be very lucky, or you can be very unlucky, essentially. And also the amount that you get per block can be very, very variable. We've had 0.01, 0.02, which is kind of like the average of it, all the way up to 30 ETH blocks. The 30 ETH block is what we call a lottery block. They're not very often. So again, very, very variable in terms of those blocks. The smoothing pool basically enables you to have a consistent, basically have consistency. So you kind of like pool your block rewards into that, and so it means that over time everyone gets quite lucky, and so it means it smooths that out for you, so you get consistent kind of rewards. The next one is the Rocket Arb. So this is actually a community-driven kind of thing. So we didn't do it, but we did kind of look at the code. So node operators can actually benefit from RETH being at a slight premium, which it is at the moment. If RETH is at a slight premium, then spinning up a validator through Rocket Pool, you can actually kind of get an extra bonus if you use this kind of Rocket Arb. And that's because it does, when you deposit, it does like an arbitrage, and captures some of that premium when you actually deposit. So check it out. It's really cool. And a big shout out to Romana for actually developing that. Yeah, Romana. So then the next one is the rescue node. So if you're worried about your node going offline, so for example, if your node has a problem and you need to resync the node, it can actually take a while to resync, particularly the execution client. It can take actually a couple of days depending on what hardware you're using. So if you're worried about that node going offline, the rescue node is kind of there to save the day. So again, this is another community-driven thing. The team, we wholly support it, but we didn't build it. It's all come from the community. This is why I point you to the community support thing. That tends to happen like this. So the rescue node will save the day, and a big shout out to Patches and Pulpus for actually implementing and maintaining that. Yeah. Essentially, what it does is you can use it as a fallback. So if your node, for some reason, dies or has like a corrupted database or something, and you need to resync, you can just point your node at this fallback, the rescue node, and it'll continue running perfectly fine. Okay, cool. All right, so what does Shanghai mean for staking? So Shanghai is a big deal. So the merge moved us to proof of stake, but we're not really complete until Shanghai. Shanghai adds withdrawals. So at the moment, everyone's piling in and depositing into the beacon chain. But when Shanghai happens, they'll be able to access their rewards and they'll be able to exit if they want to. And get their kind of like full money back. So this means that people are no longer locked kind of indefinitely running a node. You can run a node and then withdraw at any time. Okay, so Atlas. So at ETH Denver, we are officially announcing our Atlas release. This is a big thing for Rocket Pool. So Atlas has been like a Rocket Pool-wide effort for many, many months now, between the team and the community, as I said, for many months. So it is the result of a huge amount of discussion, analysis, research, governance voting, development, testing, and auditing. Now, all the stuff that's gone into Atlas, basically, we couldn't have done it without the community. It's a very joint effort between the core team, who do most of the technical stuff, with the community. So a big thank you to everybody who's been involved in contributing to Atlas in some way. So I've talked that up quite a bit, but what does it include? So it includes Shanghai withdrawals, which is kind of one of the big things. So it handles basically these things called partial withdrawals, which is the rewards that come back. So anything above 32 ETH gets kind of skimmed and sent to the node operator. And so you can, with this Shanghai withdrawals, it means we can kind of split that between node operator and liquid stakers. It also handles full withdrawals. So if you want to exit as a node operator, you just send an exit message, and then eventually all of your ETH will come back, and then again, it splits it between our ETH holders and node operators. 8 ETH mini pools are probably the biggest thing on here, probably the most exciting. So as I said before, you need 16 ETH at the moment to be a node operator and per validator with Rocket Pool. Going forward with Atlas, you'll need 8. So we've kind of lowered that barrier of entry again to support that. So that's a big deal for us because it means that we'll have a lot more capacity on our supply side, but it's great for everyone else because it means that we're, again, lowering that barrier of entry for people who want to secure Ethereum. We've also optimized our mini pool queue, which is just a fancy way of saying that we've made it just more efficient. And means that ETH gets staked a lot quicker, essentially. The solo staker migration is, so solo stakers, there's about 200,000 solo stakers who have this thing called a BLS key, and they, at the Shanghai hard fork, they'll have a decision to make, and that is they have a one-time opportunity to migrate their solo staker to Rocket Pool. Now what they'll actually be able to do is they'll turn their 32 ETH validator into 4 8 ETH mini pools. Now, that's kind of a big deal because the more validators you have, the more chances you get for proposing a block, the more chances you get for being in a sync committee, which is quite good, quite profitable, and all of these sorts of things as well. So you actually earn a lot more by doing that. Next one is gas reductions. So we just made it cheaper to spin up validators. And the dynamic deposit limit and assignments, that basically just means we can take bigger deposits. So that's really exciting for us. It just means that we can grow a lot quicker. That is basically it. Yeah, April, hopefully. Thank you. So if you want to find out more, go to the website. That's rocketpool.net. And we've also got a booth in the DeFi section, so come say hi. We've got the team are in orange, but we've got loads of kind of volunteers that are in black as well. And they, to be honest, they do me out of a job. They're absolutely awesome. So that'd be great. Thank you.